Hi everybody, I've got one word for you today, and that's vagina. Today we're talking about vaginas and we're talking about wombs. So let's get to it. Hello Deb, and welcome. I have been waiting in excitement to talk to you today about womb healing. How exciting. So
vaginas.
Yes, vaginas. So not everyone,
big and small.
Yeah. So not everyone wakes up in the morning and goes, you know what, I'm going to be a womb healer. So what kind of led you to that kind of healing?
Well, it's a long story because obviously I wear different hats.
Yeah.
And I obviously have a womb hat.
Yeah.
So, and I know we discussed about, like he's focusing on one of the things that like is passionate for me. And I think like most modalities, when people start working with different modalities, it normally comes from a place where you've had your own experience. So for me, from an early age, I would experience, I would always call them my gynae issues.
Yeah.
And this is from a teenage years.
Yeah.
And if I'm brutally honest, it was when, obviously as young girls, as women, we start connecting with the opposite sex. Obviously different people have, different preferences, but in the opposite sex, it was my body would reject the partner before I would. So, and it would manifest in, it would start off with like the usual, as women do, thrush, that kind of thing, and it would be quite aggressive. And it was like, oh, okay. So at 21, I had precancerous cells. So I had to go in and have laser surgery, which was very, very invasive. Well, they changed. But at the time, they were obviously screening women for, cervical cancer at that age. And then they moved the age to 25. And obviously, we all know the story of, bless her, Jade Goody.
Yeah.
She was unfortunately one of them that probably would have been screened too late. And we were at the time, because obviously my other job is as a performer, we were doing a lot of theatre and health and education, and a lot was to encourage women from the Asian community to go and get screened. And obviously we were talking to a lot of nurses, and we were like, well, why have they changed the age?
Yeah.
Purely because, this is people's health, and there was obviously different reasons, which are obviously more medical, and I'm not a medical person, so I was like, okay. So, but for me, it was like, well, I'm glad I had that experience at 21 and was able to have the treatment that I needed to, clear whatever may have manifested further on down the line. However, some stuff has come up about that treatment recently, weirdly enough.
Okay.
And that was because as a 21-year-old, there I am, legs akimbo, and can only describe as one of the most painful experiences I've ever had, to the point that I remember holding onto the nurse's hand that tight. She was in pain.
Oh.
And I think for me, and this is no reflection on men whatsoever, but when you're a 21-year-old, and I was pretty kind of like naive 21-year-old, if I'm honest, and I've got, a man, and there was obviously a lady doctor as well, and the only way to describe it, and I've laughed about it over the years, but it's actually not laughable, both of them pulling the chairs up and having a bit of a conversation down below.
Yeah.
And it's like I wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
And then going in, and this real invasion was, wow. It's only as an adult, I was an adult then, but as an older woman now, reflecting on that was pretty horrific.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're having part of your very intimate area lasered, burnt away, and you're just saying, yeah, okay, do this because this, and this may happen. So anyway, fast forward on a little bit further, I then developed endometriosis. So it was like, and that was extremely painful. Any woman out there that has experienced endometriosis will know of the pain.
Yeah.
and I had a reflexology treatment at, just a mind, body, spirit fair, as you do.
Yeah.
Just we've all been to them, all go along. And I didn't know at this point that I'd actually got this condition.
Yeah.
All I know was I was having a lot of pain in the left side. And this reflexologist, she was just out of this world, to be fair. And she started to have obviously work on my feet. And as she went around the ankle bone, she went, you've got a lot of scar tissue on the left-hand side. And I'm like, she pinpointed everything. Now, what had happened to me as a child, underneath my ankle bone, I've still got a very, very faint scar because I was born with, as you do, Deb, extra bones in my feet.
Oh.
And I had to have an operation.
Yeah.
And they cut underneath the ankle bone. So there's an immediate scar. And obviously, as we know, with reflexology, all the pinpoints of you. So to me, I made that connection straight away. I've got a scar under the ankle bone, and I've got a scar, and the ankle bone and the fallopian tubes are the connection. So it's under that area. So she picked up straight away.
Oh,
I didn't know
So-
that.
I didn't know.
No.
Yeah. So that was not ankle bone. Sorry. No, that is the ankle bone, isn't it? This bone here. Anyway, we'll put a picture. So I was then obviously diagnosed with it. My GP at the time was just out of this world. He was just amazing. And he referred me to a gynaecologist. And again, I had the treatment. They put me, cutting a long story very, very short, they put me on a drug called, I think it was called Zoladex. That was, I think it's used for men with prostate cancer, which put me through, as they called it, temporary mini menopause.
How old were you?
And I would have been at the time early 30s. So, and this was temporary. So this was all going to be fine. This was all going to, I was going to be okay. And my periods were going to return to normal, and they didn't. And they signed me off. So I was left with no cycle. I didn't know where I was, I didn't know if my body was going to regulate itself, to the point that it was my GP who kind of hit the roof at the time and just said, do you know what? He said, we're going to have to put you on the pill for 3 months. He says, continuously, if you haven't had a bleed by then, you may need to go in and have an internal scrape. However, that was fine and it all worked out. And after that, I was like, there's so much that's happened here. There's stuff that needs clearing out.
Yeah.
So I, obviously I've always had a spiritual path in different ways.
Yeah.
And at the time, myself and a few of my friends, we were really into this, like, we'll use clearing mantras. So we started working using Ganesh mantras.
Yeah.
And so I remember us being in France away on holiday, and we were using the Om Gan Ganapateya Namaha, and I was just asking for all this to be cleared out. I just wanted a clean slate.
Yeah.
And I'd recognised that over the years, with, not that I've had hundreds of partners, because I haven't, but over the relationships that I'd had, every single one had resulted, where they'd finished, had resulted in a manifestation of my body rejecting them before me.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, there's got to be a clearing. I've got to get rid of whatever this is.
Yeah.
So I did a very, very strong visualisation, and for quite a while, and I visualised going in to the vaginal canal. And as I walked in, and I was togged up with my power tool.
Yeah.
And as I walked in, I was shocked, because all around the inside of the vaginal canal, the only way to describe it was the names etched of every partner that I'd had a deep relationship with.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen graffiti etched into a wall or a tree, it
I
was
can
like
just see
that.
it. Yeah.
And I was, that's got to go. that has got to go. So I literally sandblasted with my power tool, with my visualization. I sandblasted the inside all the way up to the cervix. I know this might sound nuts, but
it's
it's
not to me, it
genuinely
doesn't.
what happened. So anyway, so I've done this visualization, and then I was doing this mantra work. And again, with my other job, I was working down at a local museum, and we were dressed in period costume. I mean, our coats were extremely scruffy, so it didn't matter if we were grubby. So we've got the long skirts on, and we've got the what do you call them, like bloomers? That's the word. Yeah. And it was a really hot day, and I said to my friend, I said, I feel like I need to go to the loo. I'd got no pain. I'd got no discomfort. I just had this, I need to go to the loo. So I went to the loo, drop and blossom, as you do, and I felt this contraction. And if I hadn't have known better, I'd have thought I'd have miscarried.
Yeah.
It literally just fell from me. Now, I knew that I wasn't, because I hadn't been in a relationship. I hadn't been in a sexual situation with anyone for a while at that time, so there was no way that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And the bleeding did not stop, and I came out of the loo, and my friend said to me, she says, "You've gone white, what's wrong?" And I said, "I'm bleeding and it just won't stop." So cutting a long story short, ended up in A&E, and again I had a gynaecologist who was not sympathetic, no eye contact. And again, I'm not saying that all male gynecologists are like this. I'm saying the experiences that I've had where there was no eye contact. It's quite invasive. They do an internal, and he literally just walked out the room and said, "I'll send a nurse in," which left me in tears because I was none the wiser of what was happening. Yeah. Even though there was no pain, there was no discomfort, I knew on a deeper level that this was a clearing.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had to, unfortunately, give me some medication to stop the bleeding, otherwise I would have carried on bleeding. And when the results came back, they said that it was inconclusive. They couldn't find any reason why. And I know it was hand on heart. I know it was your sandblaster. It was a sandblaster. Yeah. It was the mantra work.
Yeah.
It was all of the healing work that I needed to clear out this energy, which then sent me on a path of working. And I trained to be a womb healer. A womb healer. Yeah. And so I'm not one of those that talks very flowery about all of this, because that's not me.
No,
I'm just using my experience and what I know that's worked for me, that it's not only our physical, at this lifetime that we hold on to those traumas. This is previous lifetimes. This is our mothers, this is our fathers' mothers. This is all ancestral stuff that we can be carrying through, that have manifested in these physical forms. And we've got such a disconnection in our society with our womb spaces, because that's how we've been brought up. Don't talk about it.
Well, if you think about it now, for us, I mean, we are bringing it out, into the open a lot more. But even 2 generations ago, in some cultures, women, when they're bleeding, they're sent away.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not even acceptable. And yet it's part of bringing life into this world.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful, sacred thing, and it's seen as something dirty. And horrible.
Yeah.
And I think that really saddens me. It really does. So what does a womb healer do?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of amazing womb healers out there, and we all work differently. For me, it's very intuitive. So I think as I've developed, what I do has developed. So it's not a one size fits all, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
So basically, I also work with, because we also women in general, obviously, and men.
Yeah.
We've all got our own archetypes that we work with, and most of us have heard of the Maiden, the mother, the Enchantress, and the Crone. So these are all deeply connected to the way that the seasons work and the way that our cycles work. So I help with the energy to pull and draw those archetypes into balance, so that women can feel connected and to tap into the energies of those archetypes, the energies of those archetypes to help them move forward. Yeah. And it's not only necessarily women coming to me and having a womb healing because they've got a physical issue. This could be something that they just are feeling completely out of balance. So by rebalancing the womb area and not ignoring it and pretending that it's a dirty secret, and I can't wait that I don't have my periods anymore. When I was starting to go through perimenopause, for me, I mourned that. I mourned that. And I also mourned the fact that I never had a normal period, because we were of the generation, get them on the pill. And so that's what you do. Do you know what I mean? And I never let my body experience that natural. So I mourn that. So there's all different aspects of what women are facing that you may not even be aware of, and it's about honouring that. And it doesn't mean to say you've got to go and dance naked in a field. If you want to do that, we can do that. But
I want to do that. I can't wait to do that in my retreats. Dance naked
in a field, embrace it. But at the end of the day, it's honouring the sacredness within yourself, because we've got a sacred womb space. The earth has got a sacred womb space, and we're all deeply connected to this divine feminine aspect. So, honour it, work with it, heal with it.
Can you talk to us a little bit more what the maiden mother is and the different elements to that in a little bit more detail?
As I say, again, all different womb healers and people that walk this path will have different ways of working. And again, I'm intuitive, so I work the way that works for me and my understanding. And so for me, I think it's very clear cut. From the moment that we start bleeding as young girls, we're in a phase of the maiden. And the maiden is connected to the season of spring. Okay? So this is like, if you want to look at the way that obviously the women's cycle works, this is the pre-ovulation. So it's all very connected in that one area. So, and we have positive and negatives of all of the archetypes. Just giving an example. So you may have like the positive aspects of or not positives, I'm going to say balanced aspects of a maiden archetype is vibrancy. The world is your oyster. You can do anything. Youthfulness is on your side. You've got so much energy. And then the flip side, if we and this is, I'm not talking about women of that age, I'm talking about the energy of the archetype. So we're not talking about young girls here. I'm just using that as an example. So so the flip side to that is not feeling good about yourself. Feeling insecure, feeling very, very inward. There's a lot of different aspects. And if you look at the way Disney and those kind of like the cartoons and the fairy tales that we've all been led to believe, the maiden that needs rescuing. Do you get what I mean? Like losing her sense of self because she hasn't got it within herself to be this strong, independent woman. She needs a man to save her. That kind of thing is a negative trait. So we're not talking about women of that age. We're talking about the naivety. So then, and that obviously from the point of bleeding to maybe early 20s. Then from 20 to around 40 is our mothering years, which is connected to the season of the summer. And that is obviously our nurturing qualities. and this is the time where we're in our procreation. So this is like the ovulation. This is like the seeds have been planted, and all of a sudden we're growing the baby, and this is where a lot of women in that time, and again, not necessarily women in general, but an out of balance mother archetype will be nurturing everyone else but themselves. No nurture. So the whole aspect is, looking after the kids, looking after the rest of the family, looking after everyone else. And then we've all seen it when the kids fly the nest. It's like, no, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I without all the kids? Who am I with? I don't know. I don't know what I am or who I am, right? And obviously then you have the positive traits of the mother energy, which is being able to nurture herself.
Yeah.
So filling up her own cup, they say on a plane, don't they? On an aeroplane, put your own oxygen mask on first, So then we move through to the Enchantress phase, which is the premenstrual.
Yeah.
And for 40 to 60, in those, we're using loose age brackets here. And that is our autumn phase.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where, again, you've got women that are going through the next cycle of their life, trying to figure out who they are again. I actually don't believe midlife crisis exists.
I think it's the best time.
What this is women finding themselves in a different and expressing themselves in a completely different way. A different way that, and why not? Who says that you've got to put your... I like my slippers. But who says you've got to put your slippers on, put your pyjamas on, and if that suits you and that's what you want to do, fine. But if it means you also want to go out and you want to change your hairstyle and have pink mohair, whatever it is, do it. But again, it's frowned upon that... And I'm using these... there's so much more depth to what I'm saying here. I'm just using this in very easy to understand terms. What is wrong with expressing yourself in however you want to? Does it matter? Who does it affect? Nobody.
Yeah.
You should be be really, really true and honest with yourself.
Your golden hat.
Have you got a golden hat? Where is it?
Been to Glastonbury, and it's the most beautiful hat. It's like this bucket hat, and it's full of sequins, big, and I rocked it down Glastonbury High Street.
There you go.
But as soon as I got home, I've not put it on, and that's an absolute typical example of it, because that girl who rocked down Glastonbury High Street is really me.
Yeah.
And then you put the mask on, don't you? And
because society is like, oh, what's she doing?
Yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
And if we all did it.
I was just saying, we were talking about it in the car on the way, and I'm like, well, why aren't you wearing your hat down here? And you're like, well...
Yeah, I love
Get your hat out,
Yeah.
Get your hat out.
She's going to wear it on
Wear
the
hat. Wear the hat. And then obviously we finish then with the Crone energy, and that's the bleed. That's when you're going inward, and you've the wisdom, and that's the older woman, before the quietness. We've all seen it. Those matriarchal, those elders that don't have to say anything. It's just a look, and they might say one word, and you go, how do they know all that?
Yeah.
Because it's the words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Now, what a lot of women don't know is you don't actually have to be in that age phase. You don't actually... I don't just connect in with my Enchantress energy because I'm in that bracket.
Yeah.
All of these energies play out within our systems.
Yeah.
Every single month.
Yeah.
Whether whether we've still got a womb.
Yeah.
Whether we are still bleeding, because the energy of the womb stays. So if you've had a hysterectomy and you go, well, how is a womb healing going to be beneficial for me? You have still got the energy of that womb.
Yeah.
I hear actually a lady who does reflexology, and she said to me, because the point on your foot where the womb is and everything, your ovaries, there's still activity. The energy is still present.
Very much.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
Fascinating.
Isn't it? I love it. So a womb healing, you say it's intuitive. So I'm trying to envision it here. I'm closing my eyes, sorry, while I'm trying to, do you guide them into their wombs or,
Sorry, I'm just
fascinated.
laughing.
I'm having an appointment with her as soon as I can get one.
No, but I'm laughing because I sent you a client. I sent you one of my
Yeah.
clients, and I asked her how her womb healing went. She went, "I've got to be honest. I thought I had to take my knickers off."
I never asked her to take it. She actually said to me, I thought you were going to ask me to blow smoke. You were going to blow smoke on my skirt. And I went, what? Why would I do that?
Isn't it? A yoni cleansing or
I said,
something.
well, why would I do that?
Yeah.
And we joked, me and
come back to
her,
that.
Yeah.
we laughed about it and we joked
Yeah.
about it. But I said, if you think about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you've had,
Yeah.
if you have had some, if you've had some serious trauma down there, if you've been sexually abused, if you have miscarried, whatever that may be, I said, and you've got even a woman whacking your skirt up. and
Yeah.
how traumatic
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
I said, so no,
I'm not blowing
going to be
smoke
doing
up your
any of
hoo-ha.
that. So basically, how it works for me is I
Yeah.
call in the energy of the moon, because obviously the moon is connected to obviously the female. We've got the father sun,
Yes.
which is masculine, and you've got the mother moon, grandmother moon, whatever you want to reference
Yeah.
it to, which is connected to the divine feminine. So for me, when I was obviously having my training many years ago, that's what we connected in with, and it was an attunement to this
Yeah.
energy. And so we're bringing in the energy of the moon to help to support. So we're working with the three aspects. So we're bringing the energy again through the crown, connecting the mind, allowing the
Yeah.
mind to still, and bringing that silvery, beautiful energy into the heart space, and then connecting the heart down to the womb. And then with the womb healing, there's points, when I was talking about the archetypes, there's points around the pelvic girdle, as we call it, that are connected to parts, to all of these archetypal energies.
Ah,
so we're
now,
pulling in so we're balancing out.
Yeah.
But then because of my other work
Yeah.
as well, I bring in other aspects depending on the client.
Yeah.
So obviously I've got, my other background is working with, shamanic,
Yes.
ways. I would not go out there and call myself a shaman. I wouldn't go out there and call myself, but I would say that I'm a full walk on the path of the medicine woman.
Yeah, yeah.
And within that, I can bring in aspects of other things that I know and that I've learned and that I've embodied with my path, down the plant medicine route, and especially with cacao, which is obviously one of my other, one of my other loves.
Yeah, exactly. So how to I know it's really difficult because everybody's different, but generally, have you found women that really kind of struggle with tapping into that part of their body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Because they've completely disconnected the two. It's like they don't know why they want a womb healing, but they've booked on, and it's like I don't understand.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and it's like, well, we'll do what we'll do, because where you may have a Reiki client, so it's all based on. Excuse me, I'm attached. Where it's all based on intention.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to have that with this. It's not like you have to come in and say, right, I need healing on this. We have a conversation.
Yeah.
And within that conversation, you'll find that stuff will come out that you hadn't even thought of.
Yeah.
And so then we will work with whatever's coming up for you and work on that side of it. But for me, it's more about balancing out those energies.
Yeah.
It's about, and as I say, different womb healers will work very, very differently. I just know what works for me and how that works with my clients. I mean, I had one recently, bless her, and she was, this sounds nuts, she was struggling with where to move forward in her life, and she wanted to sell her house, and but she wasn't sure whether she wanted to move. And before you knew it, she actually sent me a message, and she said, something's changed and shifted within me. I've put the house on the market and I'm moving. She's moving to another country.
Oh wow.
And that was,
crikey,
I was like,
that's a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was
awesome.
like, this came because she had a huge shift.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just about when we heal the womb or we tap into the energy of the womb, we're not only looking at it as a physical aspect that you know is present in all women.
Yeah.
You know, that is there for us to create, you know, and grow a child. It's also a power source of creation anyway.
Yeah.
So if we use the energy of the womb to help us in different areas of our lives, we can create from the womb area.
Yeah.
We create anyway a baby.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, we grow this baby.
Yeah.
You can grow anything that you want.
So instead of
energy
using
of
my
the
brain, I need to think with my vagina.
Absolutely.
How,
Birth it.
Yeah.
Birth it.
okay. So how would I know that I am disconnected with my womb? How would somebody know that they're disconnected from that area?
I think it comes out again with the language. Oh my God, my periods. God, when is this going to stop?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's that kind of talk, and it's the I'm in so much pain when I have my period, and I can't wait for the menopause.
Yeah.
It's that kind of language.
Okay.
And again, I know some women. I've got friends, you know, when they were going through their, you know, their bleeding years, as we call it, suffered horrendously.
Yeah.
Really did suffer with the pain. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be all airy fairy about it and go, you know, just tune into the pain. I'm not saying that, but there is something in that, because what are you picking up? What are you learning from this experience? Yeah. What is your womb trying to tell you? You know, if you feel depleted and you feel like you have got zero energy, listen.
Yeah.
Your womb, if you're having that painful period and you're feeling like you're still having to plough through life, this is where in the Western world it is so topsy-turvy, because women are expected to work through all of this.
I know. Do you know, just that there's a thing on Instagram with guys, I don't know if you've ever seen it, there's 3 guys and they're hooked up to this machine that gives them period pains.
Yeah.
And they like can't cope at all. They're like, stop, and it's hardly on any, you know, anything. But something that I find really fascinating, because you and I had a little chat the other day, and that's about us, you know, carrying things from our ancestors. Now, I said something when I came into this world knowing I couldn't have children. It was just a knowing. And I said to my grandma when I was really young, and we spoke about it often, and I said to her, when I was probably about 7 or 8, Grandma, I can't have children. I'm not going to be a mum. And so when I got to the age where I was trying to have children, it didn't happen. You know, I had IVF and all the different things. And I often think, did I manifest that because I'd felt as a child that I couldn't have children? Or did I just I knew. Took that on, you know, that was part of my soul contract not to. But every single gynaecological problem you could have, endometriosis, polycystic ovaries, infertility, you name it, I've had it. And I'm now 56 years old, still having a regular bleed, whereas all my friends have stopped. Yeah, and it's but you talk about the language. For me, I'm like, oh, there you go. It's still torturing me. Yeah, everyone stopped, and you're still torturing me. Yeah, and I've completely disregarded that part of my body. Yeah, it's like it doesn't exist. It lets me down. It doesn't exist. Sorry, Craig, for saying this on here. My sex drive is on the floor because I just have totally disregarded that part of me as a woman. And I think I'm not the only one. I think there's lots and lots of people out there that have, I don't know, it's just issues around this part of us, and yet it's the most integral part. It's that beautiful feminine aspect of of who we are. But so what fascinates me is what are we carrying from our ancestors? What kind of things, are we?
Multitude of the stuff that can be. If you think, even when a mother is carrying her child, right? This is no reflection on women at all, obviously, but whatever she's absorbing, whatever is going on with her, the child is taking all that on board too. So, and her mother before her, and you hear it a lot. Will it happen to my mother? Will it happen to? And it's happening. It's playing out the same patterns. So, everyone's can only ever do the best that they possibly can. You can't shield everybody from what's coming through. But the only thing that that you can do is, if you're conscious of it, and I'm not talking about women that are pregnant here, I'm thinking like now as three conscious women, it's like, right, okay, is this my stuff? Or is this previous? Is this somebody else's? And healing that back. I mean, even if you go back to a lot of people have heard of the red tent movement, which have you heard of that?
Have you? No.
So
What's that?
the red tent movement. I mean, there's a lot of that around now, but and there's an amazing series actually. I watched it, and there's a book as well, and it was kind of more like pre-biblical, where the red tent was where the women of the village went, and that was their space. The men weren't allowed. So that's where they went to bleed. That's where they went to have their babies. It was where they worshipped the goddesses in that sacred space. And I think what's been beautiful over the years, there's been a lot of that come back. So you're getting all these sister circles, you're getting all these women circles that are coming together and honouring the sacredness of the womb through these ancient times where women were doing it years ago. But that years ago may have also been a negative context, because like what you said earlier, put them in their own little place. We don't want to know anything about that. Where now we've turned that into, actually we're embracing it, and it's not segregating men, but what it's saying is, this is our space. This is what we need to be doing. And as women, we know it with, if you've had a group of friends and all your cycles are starting to, look how amazing that is.
And it does happen, doesn't it? They do link up.
And this is because we're all so deeply connected. So the power of the womb and the power of that doesn't just happen. Does it?
No.
Exactly. It doesn't just happen. And this is what I mean. Can you imagine all those wombs going? They're not listening to us, are they? But if the connection and the power of womb energy together, and this isn't woo woo stuff.
No.
This is real. I don't profess to know a lot about quantum physics at all, right? I know a little bit. However, this bridging the gap between the science and spirituality, we're not this physical body.
No.
We are powerhouses of energy, and we've got the heart, which is our powerhouse, that's our life force, but we've also got the womb of creation. So, if we strip away the suit and we're left with what shows up, those areas are huge, powerful portals.
Portal. I've heard this word a lot.
I hear it a lot actually as well, that the womb is a portal.
That he calls us, he's on Instagram, he lives in Vegas, and he always talks about, he calls us goddesses and kings. And he says, goddesses, you've got an awesome portal between your legs, you need to look after it. That's a terrible American accent.
I was actually thinking that was quite good.
We were in awe.
But if you really think about it, and it hasn't really occurred to me, perhaps coming out of a previous relationship, if you think about you know, when you're actually being intimate with a guy and connecting, I mean, you're holding a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And if that person that you're being intimate with is toxic or, I don't know, hasn't worked on themselves, they're just putting everything, all that
Into your
energy
sacred.
into your
Yeah.
into your womb.
I know.
Which brings it back to when I was doing my
Yeah.
clearing, because
Yes.
at the end of the day, it was like the energy of those previous relationships was very much still attached to me energetically, and you have to free yourself to, and also in order to free them,
Yeah.
because you know, I also think that this is where that link between when we can't get past relationships, because that energetic link, you know, when you have been intimate with somebody, that's the place that it's literally a cord right into your
Yeah.
sacred space.
So
Yeah.
Are
It
we
is.
saying-
It is.
are we saying, so every relationship that you're with, and you, if it doesn't work, you need to clear your womb out?
I would say so. Like cleaning
Yeah.
your wardrobe. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like, you know, why not?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not? Why not? Why not make it a practice and not make it too so you're so disassociated and it seems a bit weird. Going, actually, okay, that's finished with. I don't want any more dealings or attachments. I'm going to do a clearing, and I'm going to, you know, I'm
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah.
Gonna put my vagina on Vinted.
brilliant.
Get rid of it.
Hi everybody, we're just taking a short break. I just want to let you know about our fantastic guest we have on next week. Her name is Andrea, and she is going to talk about sound frequencies, and she's also going to give us a demonstration. Back to the episode.
So
Yeah.
with this word I've heard, and I actually like the word for some reason. I don't know why. Whether you said it's a herbal, or we didn't know for
yoni.
sure.
Yoni.
Yoni. Is it yoni?
Isn't it yoni?
So what is yoni?
Isn't it the crystal that you put insert a yoni?
You can have a yoni egg. So
That's it, a yoni egg.
A
So,
yoni
so
egg.
When to do it then?
yes. So again, it's your.
That would be painful. You got a nice
Shove your yoni
smooth
egg.
one, Yeah.
Yeah, it's small little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your vaginal space. It's the opening into the portal of the womb,
Yeah.
really. And it's like, you know, I've recently come back from Peru, and we went to so many amazing sacred sites, and you know, again, all these sacred sites, and you don't have to go there to find a sacred site. The sacred sites across the globe.
Yeah.
But one thing that really struck a chord for me in the way that they work and the way what they honour and see as sacred is the energy of the caves. So the cave was, you know, different caves will represent, you know, the rebirth, the energy of Pachamama, the energy
Yeah.
of the womb. So again, you know, we've got these huge sacred portals all across the world, and whether it's a cave local to you, make it sacred to you. Sit in there, take a candle, take a crystal, whatever you
Yeah.
want to take, make it a sacred space, make it that womb-like space, and rebirth yourself from
Yeah.
from that energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I don't necessarily work and talk through that terminology.
Yeah.
However, you know, in essence, that's what it is. And you will see, again, in nature, you will see, if you look at the way, if you go to some beautiful mountains, you'll see the way that the outline of the mountains meet. And there again, you've got the
Yeah,
vaginal space.
yeah.
And nature is showing us every single time.
Yeah.
We just need to be aware and open up and see and connect in with that energy.
Yeah.
And that's what brings me into the other work that I
Yeah.
do, and pulling that in.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not here to. If you came to me for a womb healing, you're going to start your journey.
Yeah.
It's not like you come, you fix, you go home.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And a lot of the work that I do and what I've been taught through my teachers whether you are having a healing session, whether you are going down the route of deep plant medicine, it's a 50-50%.
Yeah.
So you've got to own your 50%, and that's not saying there's blame. I'm saying you've got to own your 50%, and you've got to be empowered, which is why my business is Empowering Circle, is empower yourself to tap into your own resources and know that you have that power within you. All of these modalities that are around there, which are absolutely phenomenal, are tools and gifts that you can access.
Yeah.
And when you work, in this synchronistic way, that's where true healing happens.
It is, isn't it? It is where true healing happens. And I think, I feel so strongly about this. And actually, this is one of the reasons that we wanted to do this, is because there's so many people on our planet and our world that don't realise the capacity we have inside ourselves to heal. Yeah. And when we realise that, when we realise we are just energetic, beautiful, energetic beings, and everyone intrinsically at their soul is good. Life just something happens. I can't even find the words for that. Something happens, and it's once that's happened, you can't go back, can you?
No. Once you've seen or experienced that true beauty and that deep connection, you can't unsee what you see.
No, you can't.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to go drop on the floor now. But and I think, and also it's about being real with it.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're too up in your head about it and too, then you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You've got to live in it's the duality.
Yeah.
And also I think as well, what comes up, especially with womb work, if we're looking kind of on that shamanic level, is the shadow work, where we all try and, I don't want to know all the darkness, but it's not about you having to step into the darkness and what's the word I'm thinking of, and bring up your deep, darkest fears or whatever.
Yeah.
It's acknowledging.
Yeah.
Acknowledging, transmuting.
Yeah.
Clearing.
Yeah.
And we can, me included, I haven't got all the answers. I still have the meltdowns.
Yeah.
I'm human. I'm in this. I am this being of light, but I do have human experiences, and those human experiences can really take you out. It's how aware you are in that time and how you deal with it, which is the answer.
Yeah.
And awareness and knowing who you truly are is key.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. I heard somebody say the other day, I can't remember who it was that I was listening to. It was another podcast I can't remember. And it was, we are pure consciousness, but we are in a human body and we're here for experience.
Yeah.
It's about the experience.
Yep.
And every experience we have, as you say, it's about the duality. You've got to have this side to have that side, you're constantly looking for that balance.
It's not all lollipops, rainbows and rabbits.
It isn't.
Bunny rabbits.
Unfortunately, it isn't.
No,
and
it's not.
If we don't experience a lot of us, I would say most of us, grow more through the traumatic experiences. We don't want to have to relive them, and we shouldn't have to keep replaying them and going over them and over them and over them and talk. The more we talk about it, the stories that we attach to, and there's another level of that, and you're stuck in this ever this cycle and then from that place, you're not living your life.
No.
All you're doing is existing in a loop, a story that, we've all had really traumatic experiences. I'll just give you an example. I lost my father last year, lost my mum 3.5 years ago nearly, lost my dad last year to a very traumatic experience, which I won't go into. And throughout the last 12 months, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
because there was investigations and blah, blah, blah and all that kind of stuff. And obviously I miss my dad in the physical, like I miss my mum in the physical. But while I was away, which was May, it was the anniversary of my dad's, first anniversary of my dad's death. So everyone that knows who's lost somebody, you know, parent, child, whatever, the firsts of everything are hard.
Yeah.
So I was out there not knowing how I was going to feel, because I'm away from my home, I'm away from the familiarity, I'm away from my loved ones, I'm in a foreign country with a lot of new brothers and sisters, but then they don't know me in that aspect. But I tell you what, with the work that we were doing out there, the frequencies and the deep, I wouldn't even say healing work, transformational work that occurred for each and every one of us. And I'd been in ceremony the night before, and the following day I was getting all these messages going, really thinking about you today, Deb. You know, I hope you're okay. And I'm going, what's wrong? What's happening? And it had not even occurred to me that it was the anniversary of my dad's death. And that's not because I wasn't thinking of my dad. Yeah. The energy had literally been, and I was like, wow, that is huge. Yeah. Because I could have gone into it, right, okay, 15th of May, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? And gone into and remembered everything that had happened that day, played it all out. And it was like, what and who was that going to serve? I want to remember him as he was, the nutcase that he was, not this cycle of what happened at that time. Yeah. And that medicine work and the healing work and the transformational work allowed me to experience that on that first anniversary. And I thought, wow, this is huge, and this is how powerful we are. We really, really are. And that, again, that's not taken away from anyone that's ever gone through traumatic experiences at all and who can't move past that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there is a way. Yes. There is a way. There's always a way for us to get to a point where we're back in the game. Yeah. We're back in the game. Yeah. Aww, sorry, we're talking a bit of a tangent there.
That's lovely.
It just seems quite relevant.
And it says it all, doesn't it? It says it all. Yeah. So, Deb, you've got some little things down there. So we've not had a chance today, but I'm sure I know we'll be inviting you back loads to talk about, because there's so much to talk to you about. So where can people find you? I mean, all of your details we will put on a link to us, but just kind of a brief overview of what you do actually, do the other modalities
So obviously I'm also a Reiki healer. Obviously womb blessings, womb healings, cacao ceremonies are also my thing. So, I've done that quite extensively over the last few years. And again, that's the medicine of the heart. Yeah. So when we tap into the heart, it's not just drinking a cup of hot chocolate. We're working with a plant medicine that is legal. Yeah. A plant medicine that is legal. But it's the energy of the heart. So when we open the heart, we can express from a really, really pure, beautiful place. And for me, I want the cacao to be the interweaver between all the modalities that I work with. Yeah. So it would be lovely to actually work with women that want to, they want to do womb work, but we can have a cup of cacao. Yes. While we're discussing this, because it literally allows you to open up and speak from the heart and not from the head and not from what you think you should think or say or do or whatever. So cacao ceremonies, womb healings, womb blessings, Reiki. I've got different packages, and they're all on my website. So I would do one-to-one cacao ceremonies, intimate groups, or I run regular ones where people can book onto. I'm going to be at Soul Revolution Festival in a couple of weeks, so I've got a ceremony there which will be amazing, and also running the cacao bar, which I'm looking forward to.
Are you?
So that's going to be
that's awesome.
that's going to be pretty epic.
Yeah,
So there's going to be
yeah.
a cacao, but again, that's the interweaver of the medicine throughout the whole festival.
I like that.
So that's going to be the cacao bar. So, as I say, and also with the womb and the Reiki, if people say, "Well, actually, I'm not quite sure how I want to work this," you can mix and match.
Yes,
I've got a bit of it.
yeah.
It's a bit like the sweet oil.
Yeah.
So you can either book one ceremony. You can either book one healing modality with me, whether that's a Reiki session, whether that's a womb healing or a womb blessing, or you can say, "Well, I want two. I want 2 Reiki, or I want 1 Reiki, 1 womb," or you can book 3. And
So it's bespoke.
Yeah,
for you,
yeah.
and it all comes through that I don't want anyone to just go on my website and book it, because we need to connect.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you do is you book a call with me, and we
Yeah.
have a conversation for about 30 minutes.
I love that.
before you buy,
think that's so
because how many
important.
times have we
Yeah.
all done that? We've just
Yeah.
bought something and we don't know the person, and for me it's no, connect with me.
Yeah.
And then if it feels right, then book.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, we've just
Yeah.
had a nice conversation.
Conversation.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. I want to connect with not just, I mean, obviously, a lot of this is steered towards women, but if men want to phone and
Yeah.
have a Reiki session or 2
Yeah.
Reiki, or want to have a one-to-one cacao ceremony, absolutely. My partner, he loves his cacao. Sometimes he loves it with me. I think he loves his own way of doing it.
Yeah.
But these are medicines
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is as well, because there is no separation with energy, they don't have to be in person. So if you are the other end of Scotland and you go, "Well, actually, I quite like the vibe of Deb,
Yeah.
but I ain't going to travel all the way down to the Midlands, and as much as I'd love to come to Scotland, unless you put me up for a few days." Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always easy to do.
No.
So the beauty of the distant healing
Yeah, exactly.
is equally as powerful
Yeah.
as if you were in the same room. Do you know what I mean? So we can still do that, and we can either work that at a time that suits you, where I'm sending the healing and you're receiving, or if you would feel more comfortable because you want to, not saying that you don't believe that I'm doing it, but I know how some people would go, "Well, actually, how do I know?"
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is a trust basis, and
Yeah.
that always comes, first and foremost. However, you can even be on Zoom,
Yeah,
and I will be
yeah.
there connecting with you while you
Yeah.
have your healing session.
Yeah.
So we'll work to suit you.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to think, "Well, that's not going to work for me because I don't know whether distant healing works."
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah.
It can be really powerful. Otherwise, how is some of the most graphic, awful things that have happened in the world, when you've had a collective of people come together to send energy,
Yeah.
it's transformed or healed so
Yeah,
much.
I know.
That's distant
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
On a huge scale.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's little old me in a nutshell.
Thank
Amazing.
you. Thank you so much. It's been
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing.
I haven't
Amazing.
talked too much because
No,
gobble,
no,
gobble,
no.
Can
I
I just
love
say
it.
one thing? Vagina.
She's
Vagina.
just
I don't know. I've just been obsessed with the word all
With
day.
vagina? Yeah.
Vagina.
Vagina.
There's
Yeah.
the giant.
Love your vagina.
The Vagina Chronicles or something.
Oh,
Who was
yeah.
it? Yes.
Yeah, I'd love to go and see that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, it's like not always being serious. These
Yeah.
shows
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like how, especially going through perimenopause and menopause and
Yeah.
stuff. That it's not just about hot sweats.
No.
And you dry up. I haven't. But do you know what I mean? There's
Yeah. Yeah.
there's all manner of stuff. You
Yeah.
nearly wet yourself when you sneeze.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a lot more
I've
to
reached
it.
that one.
Yeah, and I have. It's awful. You can just go to the loo, and then you can walk downstairs, cough, and go, "I'm gonna have to go and change
Yeah,
my knickers." It's that kind of. Yeah,
Oh,
done that
Jesus.
one.
Yeah. I've reached
Yeah.
that one. But
So
there
I
we go.
think and I think what I want to get across is I'm a real
Yeah.
down to earth
Yeah.
person who, as a woman,
Yeah.
has experienced my own ups and downs, my own journeys with all of this, and still am, because I
Yeah.
am. I think I'm coming out of perimenopause and going into full-on menopause because I'm not getting so much of the brain fog.
Yeah.
But I also think as well how it affects the mental health of a woman, you know. So, and again, this is where the womb healings and womb blessings can really, really
should be on
help.
the NHS.
It should be. It should be.
Yeah. That's it. It should.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Debbie,
Thank
for
you
being
for having
here.
me.
Thank
It's
you.
been amazing.
Yeah, it has.
What are we doing the next one?
Yeah.
I'll bring some cacao next time.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for watching our episode today. Let's break some barriers. Please comment below about your vagina stories. We'd love to hear from you. Again, please subscribe to our channel because it helps us grow. Thank you so much.